Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at another horrible case with you on December 26, 2000. Shanaya Katwe was born in the city of Hubli in the Indian state of Karnataka. Her father passed away when she was still very young, so her mother raised Shanaya alone, giving her both a mother's and a father's love from the beginning. Shanaya's mother wanted her daughter to enter the film industry, and this wish finally came true in 2018. As Shanaya grew older, she gradually developed an interest in modeling and began participating in various competitions during and after college, with time improving her skills. After every competition, Shanaya even participated in the 2017 beauty pageant, Miss India Elegant. In that pageant, she won titles such as Miss Photogenic, Miss National Glamour, Miss Popular and Miss India Elegant North. Apart from that, Shanaya Katwe took part in several fashion shows and impressed many people with her ramp walk. Soon after her modeling journey, Shanaya made her debut in the Kannada film industry of Karnataka with the movie Adam Prem Jivanam in 2018. She thought her film career had finally begun, but perhaps fate had other plans. That movie was not well received in theaters, and as a result, Shanaya stopped getting work. There came a time when Shanaya decided to work as cabin crew with India's SpiceJet Airlines. She worked there for a few months, but then in 2021, she returned to acting with the adult comedy movie on Duganteya. Kate. Shanaya was very happy and felt her film career was finally gaining momentum, and her mother's long-standing dream for her was about to come true for the promotion of this movie. Shanaya attended a party on April 9, 2021. She wasn't alone. Her mother accompanied her to the event. Shanaya also had a brother named Rakesh Katwe. And on April 9th, Rakesh was at home alone due to the movie's promotion. Shanaya stayed away from home with her mother for the next 2 days, but when they returned home on April 11th after wrapping up the promotional events, they found the house empty. Seeing their home deserted made both mother and daughter anxious because they had left Rakesh alone before, but he had never left the house like this without informing anyone. Rakesh never went anywhere without telling either his mother or sister, even when his mother and sister tried to call him. The phone kept ringing, but no one picked up. Shanaya and her mother called some relatives and friends of Rakesh Tosk about him, but no one knew anything. They waited for a while, but as it got darker, Shanaya and her mother went to a police station in Hubli and filed a missing person report for her brothers. Incident involved the missing brother of a film actress. The police launched a thorough investigation. But the next day, on April 12, 2021, the Hubli police station received a call. The man on the line told the police something that would turn this missing person case in a new direction. He told them that he had just seen some severed human body parts in the Deva Gudihal forest. Upon receiving this information, the police immediately rushed to the location and found a half-burnt severed human head inside a plastic bag. However, the bag was now completely torn apart, possibly by wild animals. Now it was obvious that if the police had recovered the head of a corpse, then the rest of the body must have also been burned and cut up by the killers in the same manner and dumped nearby. After a bit more searching, the police found several body parts from the neck down to the legs scattered at short distances along a rarely used road in the area, but the condition of those parts was also extremely bad because they too were found half-burned. In addition, the police found a Maruti Rizand, a hide car, in suspicious condition on that deserted road. The police grew suspicious because both cars had blood splatters on the back seats, which had completely dried. Seeing this, the police assumed that the killer must have used both vehicles to dispose of the dead body. Because of this, the police seized both vehicles. However, the photo of Rakesh Kumar that his family had given to the police resembled the severed head to a great extent. For this reason, the investigative officer of the case called Rakesh's mother and sister to the police station so they could identify the severed head. But on the other hand, as soon as Rakesh's mother saw the photo of the severed head, she began crying loudly. Right there, seeing this, the police immediately realized that the body they'd recovered belonged to no one else but Shanaya's brother Rakesh Kumar. After the atmosphere at the police station calmed down a bit and Rakesh's mother stopped crying, the police showed her the rest of the body that had been found on the side of the deserted road. A mother knows everything about her child's every feature, So how could Rakesh's mother not recognize her son? In fact, she identified the body as Rakesh's just by looking at the fingers of the hands and feet. After that, when the police carefully examined the dismembered body of Rakesh Katwe, they discovered that the killer had cut it into small pieces using a sharp weapon with great ease. However, since the police hadn't been able to reach the scene in time, the killer had dumped the body parts in various places in the forest. Now the police had sent the body for a post-mortem to the district hospital. But for a moment, even Rakesh's family was shocked. If Rakesh had no enemies, then who killed him and why? To find out who murdered Rakesh and why, the police formed a special investigation team. The first thing the team did was obtain Rakesh Katwe's CDR call detail record, from which they learned who he last spoke to, and at what time. It turned out that Rakesh had last spoken to his sister Shanaya at around 8 p.m. From this one thing became absolutely clear. Rakesh's murder happened after 8 p.m. because the call detail record was proof that he was alive at 8 p.m. Additionally, from conversations with Rakesh's mother and sister, the police learned that on April 9th, both of them had gone to a promotion party for Shanaya's upcoming movie. And that night, Rakesh was alone at home. Now hearing this, you must be wondering why Rakesh didn't attend his sister's movie promotion party when he should have. Shanaya and her mother explained that the reason Rakesh didn't attend the party was because he tended to avoid such gatherings and preferred to spend most of his time at home. But the turning point in this case came when the police's technical team discovered that the Maruti Ritz car recovered from near the crime scene, which had bloodstains in the back seat, didn't belong to just anyone. It was actually owned by Rakesh's sister Shanaya. This information shocked the police, as they couldn't understand why Shanaya's car was found at their location, where her brother Rakesh's dead body was discovered. After this came to light, several other questions also became topics of discussion, such as whether Shanaya had any connection to Rakesh's murder, or whether she was somehow linked to his killers. Following this, the investigative officer expanded the scope of the investigation and involved a few more officers to help solve the case as soon as possible. This move by the investigative officer turned out to be effective because just 4 days after the incident, a police informant told them that the relationship between Shanaya and Rakesh hadn't been going well. This piece of information proved very useful for the police, and when they began digging into the fractured bond between the siblings, the entire truth soon came to light. In reality, Shanaya was in love with a boy named Niaz Ahmed, and Rakesh strongly disapproved of their relationship. Because of this, whenever Rakesh tried to stop his sister, they would end up fighting over the same issue. In fact, Rakesh had caught Shanaya meeting Niatwo 3 times in the past, and had never liked them seeing each other. On the other hand, Shanaya began to see her own brother as an obstacle in the way of her love, and she didn't appreciate his constant interference. After all this came to light, the Hubli police, based on some evidence, arrested Niaz Ahmed on April 17th and brought him to the police station for questioning. Right from the start, the police interrogated him strictly and under this pressure. Niaz completely broke down in the end. He confessed that he had killed Rakesh. In this interrogation, Niaz also revealed that he wasn't alone. He had 3 accomplices involved in carrying out the murder. Based on Niaz's confession, the police began searching for the other 3, and within a few hours, they arrested 22-year-old Tif Abdul Rahman Chanapur, 24-year-old Alaf Tajuin Mulahand, 19-year-old Muhammad Urani. During questioning, the police also learned that Niaz Ahmed had agreed to kill Rakesh. The insistence of Shanaya. Following this revelation on April 22, 2021, the police arrested the mastermind behind the murder, Shanaya Katwe. When the police began interrogating Shanaya, she too broke down under pressure and confessed the story she told left the entire police department in shock. And it went like this. In fact, 24-year-old Shanaya Katwe was the only child of the Katwa family. Her parents were very happy to have just one daughter like Shanaya, and had no plans of having more children. Their small family of 3 was living a happy life. But over time, as Shanaya grew older, her parents started longing for a son. Whenever Shanaya's parents sat together, they would talk about how having a son would have made their old age easier. After thinking About it for a long time, they finally made a decision to adopt a boy and raise him as their own son. However, not long after the couple's wish was fulfilled when they legally adopted the son of a relative, and that boy was none other than Rakesh Katwe. Rakesh was just a year old when the Katwe family adopted him. He learned to walk by holding Shanaya's father's finger. But fate had something else in store, because shortly after Shanaya's father passed away, and at that time, both Shanaya and her stepbrother, Rakesh, were very young. However, Rakesh was never told that these were not his biological parents, but that he had been adopted. In fact, the topic was never brought up in front of him, so that even as he grew,